I always wondered what makes people want to become a podcaster. And it dawned on me, maybe for the same reasons I did. Sometimes if you're a person like me that just enjoys talking, this would seem the natural fit. But what if I told you that your chances of becoming well-known as a Joe Rogan, it's like winning the lottery, and you have to face that knowing that you're probably not going to get to that level. But if your dream is to become the next Joe Rogan, you're going to be waiting a while because there's a lot of people in line waiting for that same top spot. But this video today is talking about that as a brand, podcasting as a career choice if you decide to go into this field. Now, obviously, if you go into the entertainment realm, there's managers, there's agents, and all sorts of things that you'd be involved with. But podcasting is a lot different, and so is being on the internet or on YouTube. Most of the times, people start generally small and are representing doing all the work. And it's only until you get to those top paying levels of Joe Rogan or those type of podcasts that you're going to start seeing some money and revenue. And I wanted to share some information I found today to help you with your decision whether or not you want to go into this field of podcasting. Have you considered podcasting as a career choice or a career option? Well, let me let you in on a few facts that might change your mind. I'm sorry to say it, but it's a really competitive space, and getting these facts and these numbers really opened my eye. Obviously, in this space, if you don't have a backup plan or somebody to help you while you're doing this type of work, it can be extremely challenging because it costs time and energy to put videos out. So this was quite interesting to me, but the top 3 podcasts right now are Joe Rogan. He has long podcasts that are 2 hours long. People are listening to these podcasts, which tells me that there is still a space for long form content because his podcast can have a guest having a conversation for 2.5 hours, which is exactly where I want to be eventually. My goal is to have guests because when you have a conversation, it feels more natural. And I think this holds people's attention a lot longer than just a talking head video. So that would be something to look into, working with other people to make it more interesting for the people watching your program. Then there is apparently 2 other programs that I've never heard of in my life, which means there's a space for everyone. Crime Junkie, hosted by Ashley Flowers and Britt. This is a true crime show. I've never heard of them. Then there's Call Her Daddy, hosted by Alexandra Cooper. Never heard of this either. Discussing relationships, sex, and personal stories. So you see there's going to be somebody in one of these spaces that you recognize or you watch. Maybe you don't watch JRE. Maybe you don't watch. It's whatever you really are interested in. In 2023, there were approximately 5 million podcasts worldwide, but then the number dropped to around 3 to 4 million in 2024. Out of these, about 700,000 are active, meaning they've released an episode recently. Joe Rogan's Spotify deal is worth 200 million and with an annual earning of around 30 to 50 million. Crime Junkie brings in about 10 million a year, and Alexandra Cooper of Call Her Daddy makes about 20 to 30 million annually. And she's also signed to Spotify. So as you can see, the top 1% of podcasters, including Joe Rogan and Alexandra Cooper, make most of the money thanks to big deals and sponsorships. About 5 to 10% of podcasters with steady followings earn a decent income, ranging from a few thousand to several $100,000 a year. That's a good amount of money. The majority, though, 80 to 90%, earn barely anything. Okay, nothing almost. They're just basically giving this content away for free. And I suppose this is why I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if this is something you want to do, you have to have some support because it does take work and effort. But how you get there is really just consistency and showing up every day for your viewers. Now, if you just disappear and fall off the map, people will leave, So I think that would be my number 1 tip for people trying to get out of that 80 to 90% earning very little or nothing at all. Now let's look to the future, guys, because the future is important. There's going to be automation and AI. Expect smart tools to help with content creation and engagement. And this is going to let creators focus on just their creativity and just, being able to have fun on camera and not be so caught up in all of the work and effort that it takes to put a video together. The second thing is interactivity. There's going to be use of AR and VR so that you have more immersive experience. Could you imagine being in a room with your favorite content creator? How cool would that be? I think personalization will be important to people too. People are going to be able to tailor their preferences of what they want to see and what they don't want to see. And of course, you're going to have new platforms and new ways for people to connect with their audiences. So there's a lot of fun things coming in the future that will allow you to go into that space. It's just like when there's a new app coming out. If you want to really be able to make it in this space, I would suggest paying attention to the new apps that come out and get on those apps as soon as they come out so that way you have the advantage. The advantage for people like Joe Rogan and all these other podcasters is they've been doing it for a long time. They have gotten comfortable. They are comfortable in camera. They are themselves. They have built their audience from the ground up. So this last piece of information is the most important because I feel that we focus a lot on niche content nowadays. I mean, people will go to a specific channel just to watch, certain things, and that becomes very redundant. Because for the creator, you really don't have a way to really grow. You're kind of confined and pigeonholed to one type of content. And then I feel like that's gonna be something the audience wants more of, is this niched down community. So if that's something that you're interested in, is just the niche, tell me what kind of things do you prefer people to talk about on the internet. Like I said, if you have the passion and what it takes to get in front of a camera, talk to yourself, because, technically we're talking to ourselves, which is kind of weird, right? Don't be afraid to do it. The bottom line is that a successful brand is going to captivate audiences. They're going to maintain consistency by leveraging their unique qualities. And many of these brands feature individuals like Joe Rogan who have standout traits, whether it's their intelligence, their charm, their charisma. I think these are characteristics that's going to differentiate you from the rest of your competitors. This is all important in order to build a compelling online presence. If you, do weird things while you're on camera, embrace it. Anyways, I wish you guys the best of luck if you're deciding to build an online presence and start a podcast in 2025, or even right now. Go for it. And remember to have a great day and think for yourself.